Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, friends here and abroad. What I have here today, bumping me on the head, is a Dayton Ring Fan. And it is July 24th, 2026. So let's take it for a test spin. Now this is definitely up on the list of one of my favorite ceiling fans. When I was a kid, there was an auto parts store that had actually a few of these. There was only one that was visible from the street, the main room, main showroom, I guess you call it. And so I begged my dad to walk me over there as a kid so I could take a look at them. And funny story about that, it was called Gem Auto Parts. Now I think it's the same company but a different name. I think it's called like Parts Authority or something. I went in there for, I think I needed a turn signal bulb for my Kia Borrego, and then again for a headlight for my Chrysler Fifth Avenue. And they do that one. The 48-inch ring fan is still connected. It is still there in the main room. I believe there's another ring fan and a Dayton, one of those newer, like the day turds they call them, that has the switch housing attached. So I'm not sure if that replaced one of these or what. But I loved seeing that fan when I was a kid, so every chance I get to acquire one, I try to. So this is it's funny because I did a. Oh, that was a little too close for comfort. Shame on me. So yeah, I did a battery installation on a Volvo XC90 once over in Lynn, and it was the same company. It was like a Gem Auto Parts or Parts Authority, whatever it is, and it was like right in front of the building. And I looked in, of course, just after I was done with the installation, and there were a few of these that were visible from the street. So I guess it was just part, it's a chain. It's a small chain throughout the Metro Boston area, and I guess they just had a few of the fans in the, they just put them in every. I don't know if they put them in every location, but at least in the two that I'm familiar with. And funny story about that, the one here in Wakefield was there was a, okay, so my parents had a 1987 Plymouth Reliance station wagon, and it was cream yellow with a tan vinyl interior. And my mother always had this big floofy blue wheel cover she put over the steering wheel, and that was a relic of her 85 Horizon that had a blue interior. So this big fluffy, it kept her hands warm or something, I don't know. But so she transferred that from the Horizon to the Reliant, and had that the whole time that she had it. And then when she got her 86 LeBaron, that had lower mileage, so I think it had like 30,000 miles when they got it back in 96, I believe. So my dad took the wagon and my mother took the LeBaron, and anyway, then in 98, when they when the Reliant shit the bed, so they bought I think it had like right around 100,000 miles. All the Chrysler K cars and L cars, they all had 100,000 mile syndrome, right around there. Might be 98,000, might be 112,000, but somewhere right around there, they died, and they just went catastrophically wrong. So anyway, they traded that in for their their 91 Plymouth Acclaim back in 1998. So sometime in like 99, 2000, thereabouts, I used to walk by that parts store on the way from my job at, this when I was like 14 or whatever. I worked at the local 7-Eleven. So I used to walk past that parts store to get home. And one time, I noticed they always have these old wagons that they use for delivery vehicles. And I see one of the old wagons parked out front. It was my parents' old Reliance. And it was a parts car for that store. It had like the magnet in the side that said, you know, Gem Auto Parts or whatever. So it was a delivery vehicle, and I knew it was the same one because I looked at the steering wheel and it had that blue dye from that wheel cover on the steering wheel, and then I looked at the back and I noticed there were a couple of bumper sticker spots where my dad had his bumper stickers, and you know, that had been ripped off, but you could still see the label scar. So anyway, yeah, that place is always sort of a you know, the place, the Ring Fan. You know, I used to love seeing as a kid, and you know, had my parents' old car as a delivery car for a while. So anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Let me show you get a close up of a little shiny ring. Caution. Caution. Now, I believe the one there actually has a Dayton sticker on it, but I could be wrong. So what I'm going to do is grab my screwy driver, take off or loosen the upper canopy so you guys can see what lies beneath. Yeah, I guess just turning the fan isn't going to cut it. Made in Hong Kong, back in the good old days. All right. Well, there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. Please do stay tuned for more fan videos. Good night and good luck. Always be kind.